stuff last night and I found like 4 or 5 ornaments that just weren't sellable. So I was like, I was about to throw them away. It's like, why would I do that? So I'm gonna turn all those ornaments into chillums right now. So they're sitting in that black box, and I heated them up to 1100 degrees, and they're already, yeah, they're ready to shape up into pipes. So hope you enjoy. So I just opened up the bottoms. As you can see, that is an ornament. Cobalt with some silver fuming. So let's make it into a chillum. So that'll be where the mouthpiece is, how I tapered it down there. Is the mouthpiece. Looking good so far. I'm just going to go back and recenter it on the end. It wasn't centered enough, so I'm just going to redo that. Right, pull it on a little more into a chillum. Almost there. I'm going to round out the mouthpiece just a little more. Give it a scoop. Alright, now I just got to make a bow. I'm glad I didn't throw these away. Now I'll be able to, I'll sell them for cheap. Cheap. They are going to be beautiful though. So right now I'm just creating one taut line. It'll be where the constriction part of the bowl is. So like the bottom of the chillum where it's that really tiny hole. All you do is just get a sharp flame and let it gather up on itself. And then to check how big that hole is, I just look down the tube. Pretty good. If it's too big, you can keep shrinking it in the flame. If it's too small, just give it a little poop. If you closed it up, you're kind of fucked. I've done that a few times. But then I reuse the color for like mushroom stems or something if it totally closes up on you. Alright, now I'm just going to pull off this clear crap on the end. And then get this whole bowl part really hot and nice and round out. I'll give it a puff. And then I'll open up the bowl. So these knobs are just different oxygen and propane. Creates a more intense or less intense flame. I'll just wait for that to cool down a little bit, and then I'll open up that top part and ream it out into a bowl. Let me give it a little puff too. Still a little too thick, so I just wanted to give it a little poof so it's easier to pick this open. So basically to open this, I'm just going to pick the glass thinner and thinner until it just wants to open up on itself because it's so thin. Almost ready. 3, 2, alright, I got it. Opened up. Now I can just pick around those edges, make sure it's even before I actually flare it open. And then I'll just use this little graphite rod. A lot of people roll it really fast. I just kind of... And then I use this graphite rod on here. It got all wonky. Round it out. The hole is a little bit too big on that constriction. So I can just shrink it up. Back in the flame. If it was too small, I can take this tungsten tick and ream it out. If it's too big, you just hit it in the flame again. Try to spin as even as you can though, because you already got the bowl open on the end, so you don't want to fuck up that part. It'll close up fairly quick on you, so pay attention. Then I'm just going to roll it, make sure it stays even. Slightly too big. I'm picky. I'm going to shrink it down a tiny bit more. There we go. Much better. There we go. You can see how much that shrunk down. Much better. Now I'm going to use this to make sure the bowl's nice and flat. Even on top. We've got our first ornament made into a chillum. Oh, and it's just splooged. So it's cobalt. It's got silver fuming. It's really hard to see, but I'll take pictures of all these tomorrow. Good morning. So I'm just going to grab another one and do that same thing. They're sitting in here heating up at 1100 degrees. This is just a little Kevlar glove to wipe the kiln dust off. So that one was cobalt fumed with silver. This is pink and blue. Looks like I gold fumed it. These are really old, so I'm not exactly sure what I did, but instead of tossing them, I'm going to make them into pipes. They just weren't good enough to sell. So I just get the whole thing hot. I'm going to rip off the loop. I'm going to let gravity kind of pull this one down before I put a handle on it. Alright, that's a better shape to get a handle on. I just want to melt it down, let the glass gather up so it's really thick, and then I'll pull it out into a kiln shape. A kiln is just a straight shooter pipe. I want to make sure I'm spinning nice and even so I have even thickness throughout the whole piece. Now that I got it a little bit smaller, I'm going to, on this end, taper down the mouthpiece. There's a lot more glass here than I thought there would be. There's a lot more glass here than that last cobalt one, for sure. Oh, that's going to be a really cool kiln. I'm stoked. I've always wanted to try blowing and making pipes. Give it a go. It's fucking fun. Do it. Alright, now I'm going to get the kiln shape that I want. It's going to be a long kiln. There's a lot of glass. I love that I can just recycle old projects and make them sellable. Alright, instead of making it really long, I'll make it really thick. I'm just going to round out the mouthpiece. It's going to be a fat. Alright, so I got the mouthpiece rounded out. I've pretty much got the shape I want. I'm going to pull the bowl out a little bit more so it's easier to do the constriction. So here's what I got so far. The colors are going to be totally different tomorrow when I show you the reveal and it's not 2,000 degrees. So I'm going to pull out where I'm going to do the constriction. I think I'm going to twist this constriction instead of just making it a basic one. So to twist it, I'm just going to move my right hand a little faster than my left hand. The glass starts twisting on itself. I want to make sure it's nice and centered as it's melting together. And then I can look down the tube to see the hole size. It was a little bit small, so I just gave it a puff. And now I've got that twisted constriction. Ooh, that looks cool on camera. Now I'll cut off the handle that I attached before and make the bowl part. So I just want to gather this up, round it out. Give a little puff. You can see the colors a little bit now. That pink is just gold fuming, and the blue is blue frit. It's fucking cool. Oh, I'm happy I didn't throw these away. Now I gotta open up the end so I can make it a bowl. So I want to start picking from the very, very center. And basically you're just picking the glass thinner and thinner until it opens up on itself. Not an easy skill. It took me 45 minutes the first time I did that, but it took me like 4 seconds that time. So it's opened up. Now I'll use my graphite rod to ream it out. Graphite. I typically like to flare it more than it should be, and then I'll roll it with this and this to kind of taper it back down into a perfect round shape. And then I'll flatten the top with this. And this is a big bowl, so I'm going to use my bigger bowl push to round it out right now. Usually I would use that tiny one. Alright, ornament number 2. Complete. I think I'm going to grab the first one I whipped up and show you how I take them off of the... That doesn't help. So yeah, I'll grab that first one I made, like what, 10 minutes ago? I do have 2 more to make. I'm just going to add some textured lines and then I'll show you how I take them off with this claw. So textured lines, I just use, this is called a butter knife, a graphite butter knife. And I just got one section hot and dented in some lines. It's going to be hard to see, but I'll make sure I post pictures, or I'll post a video of all the reveals tomorrow. So I'm just going to flash this claw in the flame because it's metal and it's sitting at like 70 degrees in here, so that is freezing compared to 1100. I tightened it up so it's now grabbing that chillum. And then I'll just cut it off where I want the end of the mouthpiece to be. And then just like I picked that bowl open, you have to pick the mouthpiece open. I need some water. H2O. A gallon a day keeps the cramps going. Alright. You want to make sure you don't get it too hot because then you're just going to pick away at your whole pipe. So pick a pipe. Alright. So it's thinner, thinner, thinner. This should be it. There it went. You can kind of have a feel, or I kind of have a feel for when it's going to pop open. It's popped open. I want to pick off any burnt crap or whatever I don't want on there, make it even. Then I'm going to take my graphite rod and this pad, just flatten it, and then round it out. You want to flatten it at different angles so it's not all kittywampus. So blue fumed. It's really hard to see the details on that one, but that's alright. Take my Kevlar doubled up gloves. So I have 2 400-degree resistant Kevlar gloves right here. Just undo this, grab your pipe, undo the claw, and it's 1100 degrees in here. So get out of there real quick. Alright, I'm gonna grab another one. I've got 2 left to do. 2 more ornaments. This one's blue and cobalt again, but it's got a different fumey design on there. I wonder if I held up black, if you can see it. Oh, that's a little bit, huh? So it's got dots on there. So let's make this something I can sell. And I'm being super picky on what I can't sell. I want everything to be perfect. So. Since these are not perfect, they'll all be a good deal tomorrow when they're ready to go. So I just picked off the top of the ornament. I don't need a loop on it. And I'm just going to let gravity kind of take it down at first. It wants to wrinkle. Ornaments are really thin, so it wants to like wrinkle up on itself. Alright, that's a little better shape to start a pipe. So I'll catch the red. She is not stunning. Now I can control it from both sides to get the shape I want. So I'm just going to taper down where I want the mouthpiece to be and get that really on center so then the rest of the pipe will be centered. So that taper down will be the mouthpiece. And I'm just going to melt everything else down to a chillum shape or a straight shooter. We're getting there. I want it nice and thick. To thicken up the glass, you just keep rolling it on itself. And it gathers up on itself. Alright, now I'm going to shape up the mouthpiece, make it a little more round. Oh, this one's going to be pretty. They're all going to be really pretty. I'm glad I did this. So I'm just aiming the sharp flame where I want my round mouthpiece to be. Maybe I'll make it flat. I'll make a flat mouthpiece. Gotta round it out first though. Okay, round. And then I'll flatten it on my graphite head. So now it's a flat mouthpiece. And then I'm going to pull out this other end right there, the bowl part. I'm going to taper that down, or like thicken it up a little more, I suppose is the right word. Thicken it up, and then I'll make the constriction where the bottom of the chillum is. Alright, there we go. Now it's more even, like the rest of the pipe. So once that cools a little bit, I'm just going to focus the flame on one spot and make the bottom of the bowl the constriction part. You want to spin super evenly and pretty slow to get a nice constriction. I'm going to twist this one. So I'm just moving my right hand a little faster than my left hand. Gives it a fun look. And if I want, I can just roll it on here, make it even again. It's a good size, so I'm not gonna put it back in the flame, and I don't need to give it a puff. If it's too small, I can just give it a little puff. If it's too big, you just stick it back in the flame and let it keep constricting. Alright, now I'm just gonna get the bowl part hot and round, and then I'll puff that out and open it up. I'm just going to find center on the back end and just start pulling off the glass thinner. Usually I'd wait till it wasn't so freaking hot, but there was a decent amount of glass that I don't want on the end here because it's kind of burnt. I don't want that shit. Alright, once I get all the shit off that I don't want, I can start picking it open thinner and thinner. So eventually it creates a hole. There we go. It's just a little hole. So I gotta ream it out with a graphite rod. Make sure I have everything off of there though, that I don't want on the end. I'll give it a twist in the flame. And I open it like halfway for that first roll. And then I flare it open too much with that second roll. So then I can use this and taper it down. Actually, I'm going to do that again. So it's too wide now. I always wipe my graphite stuff on my shirt. That's just what I do to make sure nothing's on there before I use it. So I just rolled it to make it nice and round. And then I want to make the top nice and even and flat. So I use this. And then I'll use this again just in the air. Make sure I have a round bowl. Blast all the lines out from your tools. And there's ornament pipe number 3. Let's see if we can get the... You can kind of see the fuming. It'll be so pretty when you can see the fuming like I can. Alright, I'm going to turn one more... Or let's take that... Let's take one of these off. Let's take this one off, and then I'll make one final one. So this was the second one I did. I'm going to add some textured lines. All of these started as ornaments. Going to add some lines. This is called a graphite butter knife. I did some pretty dense lines in that, so now if it wants to roll away, hopefully it'll stop rolling on those lines. It doesn't want to focus. Oh, you'll see it tomorrow. So to take this off, I'm just going to flash the mouthpiece part and flash this metal. When I say flash, it just means heat up in the heat really quick. And then you just taper that down so it's grabbing the pipe, and you tighten it right there, and then it's got it. And then I'm able to pull this handle off, or the blowpipe, I guess. And then I can open up the mouthpiece. So I'm cutting it off a little before where I want the mouthpiece to be so you don't ruin it. Then I'm just kind of pulling it down until where I want it. And then it's the same thing with picking the bowl open. You gotta pick this thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner until it just opens up on itself. Alright, I got it to open. Now I just want to shape it up, make sure it's flat, make sure it's round, make sure it's even as I can get it should be. This is a really, really, really pretty one. Especially with that gold fuming. I can't believe I used gold in an ornament. Gold is expensive. I guess I was having a good day. Alright. So I got it round. Got it flat. Now I'll get it in my kiln, which is that black box. And I'm just going to put these gloves on. It's a doubled up Kevlar glove that's about 400 degree resistance. Undo it from the claw. And that'll sit in there till tomorrow. I cycle it down very slowly so there's no thermal shock and the glass is very strong. Alright, should I do one more? Or should I call it with 3? It's been 13 minutes. I've been falling for 13 minutes. I hope somebody gets that reference. Looks like a blast, talking about having fun at work. Unless you're super OCD, then might be a little stressful. True talk. Wow, my glasses created a dent. That's okay. It's true though. It is a lot of fun, but when your OCD kicks in, everything's got to be perfect. I've spent hours just trying to fix bowls before, and sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes you're just like, move on. All right, I have one more ornament in there. Let's just do this. I said I'd make them all live. All live. All right. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna put since this one heated up enough. I'm going to blast out, since I flattened the mouthpiece, I have to blast out the vivification, and then I'll make those textured lines like I've been doing right now, and then I'll give it a chance to heat up again. Where's my butter knife? Right in front of my fucking face. I'm just getting one spot hot. Make fun little textured lines. They're fun to run your finger over. I think they are. Alright. See if you can see those lines. Probably not. But I will show you everything tomorrow. Alright, last ornament. This one, ooh, this one's wonky. Let's see how this goes. I might fuck it up. White with some red and butterscotch twisty twists. So, it didn't go so well attaching it apparently. Let's see if, it might just fall off right away. Let's see. Oh, I feel it cracking. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. White is a bitch. That's why I said it might fall right away. I think I saved it though. I felt the cracking. I felt the cracking. Yeah. I think I saved it. I'm gonna pull off that loop. Gonna get it hot and try to let it all fall that way. almost lost it for a second. I was just cutting the chunk of color that was on the end of that. I didn't want that. Alright, now I can shape up the pipe. Whew. So white likes to burn. White likes to get really hot really fast, but then cool down way faster than any other color you'll work with. So white is a bitch to work with. So I'm going to taper down where that clear rod meets the white, and that'll be where the mouthpiece ends. Whew. I did feel it cracking right in the beginning where this connection is, so I'm glad I saved it. So that little taper down part will be the mouthpiece. And I want to get the rest of this pulled out. And I want to make sure that I'm letting it become pretty thick. I like my pipe thick. Give it a little bit more of a round mouthpiece so it's not like exactly the same size as the rest of the pipe. Just a little poof. Just to give it some sort of distinction. Now I got a mouthpiece. Now I'm just going to hit one spot and do the constriction for the bowl. So the very bottom of your kiln bowl has that little hole. The very bottom of the kiln bowl has that little hole. I could write nursery rhymes. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so you just focus it on one part of your pipe and let it gather up on itself. This is opaque, so I have no idea what size it is because I can't see. So I kind of want to check as I go. The last ones I did were translucent so I could see. It's fucking perfect. So if it was too small, I could give it a puff and puff it back out. If it was too big, I would just hit it in the flame again. It ended up being a good size, and really that's just because I've done this like 10,000 times. Not to say I've never fucked it up. I've closed them up before and then you can't use it. I always set my shit in the same spot. In the very beginning, I think people burn themselves a lot because they don't have distinct spots for things, but once you have all your spots for stuff, you tend to not pick up molten pieces anymore. Sounds like a no-brainer to not pick up molten glass, but sometimes you just don't know, sometimes you'll nick it. Just, if you're starting out, put everything in the same spot every time. I can grab my tools without even looking. There it went. She went too far. Come back. Baby, come back. So there's that white again. Do you see how much resistance I had? And then all of a sudden... Alright, now I got it back to a good shape. I'm just going to pick out the top. And then ring out the bowl. And then I'll probably just take off that blue one I did with the flat mouthpiece. And then I'll have to say goodbye. I don't have to, but I will. Alright, so just picked it thinner and thinner till it made a little hole. And then just back in the flame, and ream it out. Back in the flame. Ream it out. One more time. One more time. That's a big bowl. And a small hole. So that bowl hole, I'm going to try and show you. It's way too tiny. So, tungsten metal. You can get tungsten hotter than any other metal on the planet. So I'm glad this happened because I haven't showed you yet. So I'm just going to focus my flame on that constriction again. Stick my tungsten in there. This time it actually fits. Sometimes it doesn't and you'll just have to ream it open with it not fitting. But I'm trying to push up and out. Just a bit. I might have closed it up more when I was trying to blow the bowl out. That's probably what happened. It's still not big enough. You want to be careful on the inside, especially if it's transparent, not to be scratching your glass with the other end of the tungsten pick. There we go. Here we go. Alright, now you can actually see how much bigger that is. It's so much better. And now I gotta finish up shaping up the bowl. So I'm going to use this graphite rod and this pad to roll it on. Make it nice and symmetrical. You can go back and forth as many times as necessary. Yeah, I approve. Alright, ornament number 4 is not an ornament no more. So it's red, butterscotch, white background. Alright, let's take off that blue one. Already got the texture. I'm just wiping the kiln dust off on this Kevlar glove. This has got silver fuming dots. Some texture on there. Give it a flash in the heat. Flash this in the heat. You want to make sure you do that pretty carefully because these little ends on the cloth, they can and they will scratch your glass. So they make different kinds of cloths. They make cloths that are like inside out or marble cloths or all these different kinds, but I just make like production types, so I don't need anything too fancy. Oh, hey. I miss lamp working. Well, why'd you stop, Josh? Besides your hands wanting to fall off, why did you stop? I say that joking, but it's true. My hands are going to fall off every day. So now I'm just pulling it thinner until eventually it'll open up. Obviously you know that because you've watched me do this, what, like 6 times now, open glass? And notice how I'm spinning this too. I'm not just like leaving it in one spot when I'm trying to pick it up, and I'm constantly twirling it to keep everything even. Alright, it just opened up. Just going to pick off anything I don't want on the end. And smoosh it. And since this is a flat mouthpiece, I'm going to do like a flat kind of oblong hole. I usually do that with flat mouthpieces. So I pop this in the annealer, or it's called a kiln. It's the same thing. Kevlar gloves. Undo my cloth. Freaking hot. Oh, that's the longest live I've done in a while. That was 45 minutes. All right. Thanks for all the people commenting. I really appreciate that. It gives me something to read while I'm working. Because it's so boring. But really, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Giveaway at 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate all the love and support. I will be back soon. Not today, but another